Okay, we're back for another Who Dat series, another episode in the Who Dat series. It's obviously me, and then I'm joined by Brandon and Jose to talk about Clayton Smith. But before we get into that, we just want to say we really appreciate all the support and the comments and the likes and the subscriptions we've been getting lately. We hope to continue that. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe now. It really helps us. Lets us know that you like what we're doing, and from what it seems like from the views and the likes and the comments, I think we're heading in the right direction. So we'd like to add more to it and get bigger and bigger and get the word out. So
back the Meineke Car Care Bowl.
Yeah, Meineke Car Care Bowl. If you guys hadn't seen that, Brandon defended the Meineke Car Care Bowl in last Thursday's episode, and he's very passionate about the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Bring it back.
So comments about the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Now let's roll into Clayton Smith.
Yeah. All right. So Clayton Smith. Yeah, we could do a poll of how many people love the Meineke Car Care Bowl and want it back. But Clayton Smith, 6'4", 220-pound. Defensive end, edge rusher from Texarkana, Texas. He played at Texas High. Obviously, Texas High, Texarkana, that's familiar. We've been talking about Derek Brown and his recruitment. And if you hadn't seen that, that was released in the previous Wednesday's episode where we talked about his top two of Texas and Baylor. But going back to Clayton, 2021 four-star, number 37 overall prospect, number 2 edge rusher in all the class, according to 247. Very, very highly anticipated recruit coming out of Texas for the Sooners. Obviously, big-time defensive talent that the Sooners haven't been landing these types of prospects in recent memory, and they're finally starting to turn the corner. In his senior season, obviously with COVID and everything else, he might have had an injury or two. I can't remember. But he had 53 tackles, and of those, 20 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 29 QB hurries. His team, they were able to go into the second round of 5A Division II playoffs in Texas high school football, which, it's a pretty competitive division or conference, 5A. And then he also he played a little bit of offense for whatever reason. He had 13 catches, 184 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he was a very versatile athlete in college or in high school. And then he had offers obviously from Oklahoma, Oregon, Michigan, LSU, Florida State, and Arkansas.
Texas.
And obviously Texas.
He didn't go there.
Yeah. Well, he did, he didn't go there, and I just didn't want to even bother mentioning him. But yeah, I remember his recruitment. It did come down to Oklahoma and Texas. And I think just the train wreck of Tom Herman definitely turned him off, and the Sooners scooped him up early and locked him up. But basically, he's a hybrid edge rusher, very explosive. He has great chase down ability. Obviously, with 29 quarterback hurries, that's pretty good. He's getting to the quarterback with 10 sacks. Jose, what's your initial takeaway on him?
I am a big fan. I love seeing players come that are on the defensive side. I think no matter how highly recruited or how talented you are, Lincoln Riley will make you great. But we haven't really, like you said, we haven't seen this high of talent defensive player come. So him, Reggie Grimes, they're going to be big pieces of our defense over the next couple of years. Watching his highlight tape really reminds me of a Nick Benito kind of guy. They're coming in as designated linebackers, but they're really pass rushers. They're going to find their way in the backfield and make sure to make the quarterback's life impossible. Those guys are not going to have a good time playing Clayton Smith, and we have a great one. That could be maybe an all-time defensive player because he's got that kind of talent and athleticism, but hopefully he develops and Grinch and the coaching staff get him to his full potential so he can be a first-round pick going into the NFL.
Nick Benito's a good comparison. I mean, I just looked it up. He had 9 sacks last year, 11.5 tackles for loss, which is, that's doing pretty good in the backfield there too. I want to say he was up there for the lead in the Big 12. I don't know for sure if he finished with the lead or he's up there.
He was
up
there.
Towards the top.
And then so that's good. But the stat you read off when you were kind of describing him about last year had 53 tackles. You said 54, something like that.
Yeah, was 53. Yeah,
So 53 tackles last year, but 10 of them were sacks, 20 were tackles for loss. So if that's 30, right? 10 and 20.
Yes,
Yeah,
30.
30.
Yes.
I couldn't tell if it was 33
yes.
or if he said 13 or 20. I don't know. 30 tackles for loss. So that's of 60% of his tackles are in the backfield. Plus the 29 quarterback hurries. Like the dude is living in the back. He just set up a tent back there and just, which I mean, that's obviously great to have. What you didn't mention was his junior season stats, which are even crazier. He had 94 tackles. I think he had 20 sacks alone as a junior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also part of that is he might have been hurt. I can't remember if he actually was, but talking about Derek Brown, they were a duo whenever his senior season and Brown was a junior. They were a duo. So I don't know if Brown really played much as a sophomore when Clayton was a junior. And so maybe Clayton was more featured as the premier pass rusher, and it might have been just a duo, and his production might have just dropped down a little bit.
But I was looking at some sacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad kid either, Derek Brown. But I was looking at the depth chart. Obviously, Nick Bonino, Smith is listed as an outside linebacker, and obviously Bonino is too. There's only 3 outside linebackers on this roster currently, and the third one is Brendan Walker, who's also a freshman. That I believe he's from somewhere in Oklahoma. He's a local kid, Oklahoma City. No, he is a sophomore. I take that back, but he's a freshman because of COVID. So that's what it is. He's that's so weird. It's going to be tough to remember who's what with that free year. But you look at that depth chart. Obviously, Nick Bonino is the premier guy, but he's not going to play every snap. I see Clayton Smith contributing this year. I really 100%. Think he will.
Yeah. When you're looking at all the freshmen that we have this year, him, Billy Bowman, and Mario Williams, those got to be the 3 that are going to see the most playing time. I think this could be a good year for Clayton Smith. If not, like you said, an every down player, but there's no reason why a guy who had 30 sacks as a high schooler, 50 tackles for loss, whatever the hell it was, if you combine everything, on like a 3rd and 9 situation, just put him in there and let him wreak some havoc on the quarterback.
Yeah, and I take that back. There's actually a 4th outside linebacker. It's a kid named Easton Reeves. I've never heard of him before.
Is Wegu not listed as a?
Wegu. I think he's actually listed as a defensive.
What about that kid we got from Florida? That linebacker we got from Florida. A high school in Florida, not like UF.
I'm trying to think now. Now that you're putting me on the spot, I got to think about this.
While you're researching, I think something that we should look forward to with Clayton is his athleticism. Like you said, he did play offense in high school, so that he is versatile. He's got speed on him. So hopefully over this next year and during the spring ball, and so far this summer, he's been able to put a little bit of weight on, because I mean, no matter how big you are coming out of high school, you're more than likely going to be facing someone bigger on the other side of the ball when it comes to college. So he can, hopefully you put in like 5-10 pounds on, and that's if he excelled. And he just has the ability to continue doing at college what he was doing in high school, because like I said earlier,
if he's half as productive as he was in high school and college level. So if he comes in next year and he's around the 5 or 6 sack a year mark, there's a lot to build on there. And I don't think there's any reason why he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the linebacker I was thinking of was Danny Stutzman. It was going to bug me.
Oh yes. Stutzman. Yeah. I mean, so David Owegbu, so you're right. I think at one point he was listed as an outside linebacker, but if you remember, because of the depth that was on that outside linebacker with Bonino, he actually made the transition into a linebacker, like inside. So he's listed as a linebacker, and because obviously with the loss of K9 and that he found more of a role, but like in Grinch's system, it's kind of everyone can kind of fit where they need to be to get on the field. But we haven't done this for the last few episodes, but I'll set some over-unders on playing time and really maybe some tackles. I'll just pull out some random numbers for his playing time. So I'm going to set the over-under on his snap percentage of all defensive snaps. I'm going to say 30%. Do you think it's going to be over or under for
I
that?
say over.
Over? Okay. Jose, what do you think?
Close, but over.
I'm gonna go over as well. I think
Over.
that it's gonna be between him and Mario who will get the most playing time as freshmen. And I think Clayton's just going to do it just because, like you said, our depth at the outside linebacker position isn't great. And if he can show that he can get in the backfield a lot, there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be right around that 30%. And part of me wants to say it's going to be under. I think he's going to be closer to 25, maybe 25 to 28%. I mean, they're going to throw some random packages in there where a Wegboo's playing the outside linebacker position and with Benino off, or they're both going to be on the field. So I think it's going to be really close, but still as a true freshman, that's not a bad start to your career. And then we'll set, I don't know, total tackles, assuming you guys are thinking around 35% or so. Let's say I'm going total tackles. Let's say 12 total tackles. What do you think?
I'm going higher than that.
All right.
I think he's going to be 30 tackle guy.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be over, but I'm thinking it's more of like the 15 to 20, with the limited playing time that he's probably going to get. But I don't know. So,
That
yeah.
was saying good night to me. I can't leave him hanging, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think he's going to be a great contributor. And by year 2, he's probably going to be, assuming, obviously, Benino, barring a horrific injury, is going to be first or second round draft pick this upcoming NFL draft. I just see him blossoming. I mean, he's already got the frame. He's like 6'4", what did I say, 6'4", 225 pounds, 230 pounds. I mean, the guy's already got the frame. Maybe beef him up a couple pounds here or there, and he's good to go. So I think he's one of them, like you said, Brandon. What was it? Bowman and Williams and him and Smith are the 3 most anticipated.
As far as like immediate impact, there's no doubt.
Yeah. So I kind of think Smith might have the most anticipation with him, like what Sooner fans are expecting, because he's a top defensive end talent. We haven't been getting those in a while, and I think the hopes are extremely high. And not saying he's not going to hit them this year, but I just want everyone to remember he is just a true freshman, and he is like 18, 19 years old, just got on campus. That if he's not contributing immediately doesn't mean he's not good. So it'd just be something to see. I would argue he's probably the most anticipated, him and Billy Bowman. But so well,
and they should be good for a long time, both of them.
Very, very long time. But you guys have anything to add as far as final thoughts, comments on him? Any bold predictions for him? Nothing?
No, I think that our defense is in great hands with him, with guys like him and Bowman, and hopefully we have Brownwell Dindy and LeBeus Overton coming right behind him to just fill in those couple spots we might lose later on.
Would be nice.
Yeah, and then I mean, not only talking about those two, in the 2022 and 2023. I mean, Derek Moore from Baltimore. We've been talking about him the past couple episodes. That's a kid to definitely keep your eye on.
Derek
that kid
Brown.
is very,
and that
very
the other one's
good.
the other Derek's name,
Yeah.
Isn't there 2 Derek's that we're looking at?
Derek Brown's going to Texas probably, and then Derek Moore's from Baltimore. That's probably going to be us. Well, I mean, he did go. I think he did visit I don't know if he visited Ohio State. No, that was Kenyatta Jackson that did. I mean, Kenyatta Jackson's another one that has been heavily recruited by the Sooners. So getting Dindy, Jackson, and Moore all on the same team, and then LeBeus Overton, and with Clayton Smith, I mean, the talent is going to be there.
It's going to be there. They're taking the two-plane approach.
Two-plane approach.
It's the only way to win. That's where football games are won.
Yeah, need 2 planes because the big guys are so heavy. You got
so many good
2
ones.
charters.
That's what you need to do.
But anyway, definitely continue to support our videos, like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate all the support.
Follow social medias.
All social medias at 2 Plane Sports. Just keep telling us what you think. We really appreciate the feedback and the comments, and we'll keep the good content coming your way.
Careful.
Yeah, and Brandon says bring back the Meineke car. Careful, if you hadn't seen that, go check out Thursday's episode. But we'll be bringing out more recruiting notes as far as Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and keep you guys in the loop because July is a big month as far as recruiting goes, and it's the month before Sooner football is back, which is hard to believe that it's already almost here. So
we're all excited for that.
60 something days. I can't remember what it is, but it's close. So, but thank you guys, and we'll catch you on Wednesday.
See you guys.